All information displayed in this documentary is correct as of the writing of it in April 2019. Thank you. Before we begin, I just thought I might explain what this is. So, some of you may be aware, last year I did my A-levels, which means I'm finally free of school until uni next year. So in the UK, if you do 3 A-levels, you also have to do something else as well, just to make sure you do enough. This could be volunteering in class, helping with whatever, or some sort of extended project. That's what I did, and my topic, which I chose, was: is live TV threatened by the rise of online streaming? This could mean Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. So, this is a film version of my project. I hope you enjoy. Right, before we begin, we probably ought to just get some definitions out there. Live TV is being represented by things such as the BBC, Channel 4, ITV, things broadcast live. And online streaming represents any sort of subscription-paid channel which you watch online rather than live. So these can include Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Hulu, for instance. Since Netflix started making a really big influence on people's viewing habits, the debate has really been open on whether live TV is threatened by it, or whether live TV is even still needed. Because with a subscription-based service, then you can watch what you want, when you want. An example of someone in favour of online streaming is Neil Patel. He is the author of the article Why You Should Care About Online Streaming in 2018. And his findings concluded with this graph showing that online viewers are more likely to feel excitement, immediacy and connection than TV viewers. So for my personal reasons why I even chose this subject, I only really recently got Netflix. It was this Christmas I got it. So when I originally wrote this project, I didn't have it. And so this means it's coming from someone who hasn't done it, and it's really good to compare. I was always very surprised by the popularity of Netflix and how much more popular it has gained over the years. People instantly choose Netflix over live TV, it seems. Secondly, I've been very invested in the changing environment of BBC Three and how it's gone from a TV channel for young adults to online-only content, and how it's been affected positively and negatively for that. Thirdly, my conscious effort to watch live TV has really shrunk in the last few years. Before, I would try and watch everything as it came out, on the dot of it. But I found that in the last year or so, the only shows where I am doing that is The Apprentice or Live Tennis. Everything else I'm watching on catch-up, even Doctor Who, Have I Got News For You, the new adaptation of Les Mis. All of them I'm watching at a later time, even if it's only about a couple of hours. It's still a later time than the broadcast time. I really went into this project as a defender of live TV, showing that it's definitely still got a use. But I found, without realising it really, that I'd been using live TV less and less and less, and using catch-up methods online as a much easier way of watching programming. Finally, I create videos on YouTube, and as a content creator, I want to understand the industry of broadcasting, and I want to see how my filmmaking needs to develop, in order to fit into this ever-changing broadcasting environment. Going into this project, there are three main questions I wanted to answer. Is there any point in live TV anymore? Has online streaming already removed live TV from relevance? And 3, if not, will it in the future? To create the most accurate findings possible, I use what I believe to be very reliable sources. Firstly, to find official statistics for Netflix, I used the statistics site Statistica. Then I used websites for different award shows for that section. And to find other critical comments, I used the site Rotten Tomatoes. And my final conclusion was not the obvious answer. Instead of saying, yes, online streaming has won completely, I concluded that live TV isn't lost. Yet. Using official broadcasting statistics, I was able to find out what the most viewed show on the BBC was every year since 2011. And out of these broadcasts, almost all of these are from BBC One. And there is a consistent rate of at least 13 million viewers on each of the best shows, with the most viewed of these, the closing ceremony to the London Olympics, reaching 24.5 million viewers. That's a lot of viewers. Annoyingly for me, Netflix don't release the official viewing figures of their shows. So, to compare them to the BBC, I decided to find out what the yearly subscriber rate was since 2011. Each year, the number of subscribers is increasing. This is to be expected by any successful subscriber-based company. Furthermore, the total number of new subscribers each year has also increased. This shows that each year Netflix is getting more and more popular and appealing to a much larger number of people. Such as me now. What I found to be the biggest defence for live TV though is event television. Specifically, live broadcast event television such as sport or game shows with a public phone vote, etc. Yes, I'd like to vote for Anton Dubek not to have the worst Strictly partner this year. Thank you. Event television is television events that attract high media and viewer attention. Every year, the BBC broadcast a large number of sporting events. Whether it's the Football Premier League and the tennis at Wimbledon, the amount of sport broadcasting is still increasing for BBC. But interestingly, this also seems to be accepting the prospect of online viewership. Finally, the live channel BBC Parliament's viewing figures have been boosted by the public's interest in Brexit. This is a unique channel for those interested in politics and has definitely been more noticed due to major political events such as Brexit in the last few years. This is a boost for live TV and viewership, with events taking place that have a possibility to change the country in dramatic ways. The next important factor in the debate is how critics have responded to shows from both Netflix and live TV. On Rotten Tomatoes, a total of 79 individual seasons of TV shows have got a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 65 of these shows come from live TV, and only 14 from online shows. And when comparing the show's audience scores as well, the top 15 spaces are awarded to live TV shows. You have to get to number 17 to find a season of BoJack Horseman, which is the highest rated online show. So at first glance, live TV's in the win all the way. Hands down. Game over. Or is it? However, if we just look at 2018, 11 shows from that year managed to get a 100% rating. 6 of these are from television. 5 are from online streaming. The gap between live TV and online streaming is as small as it can possibly be at time of research, and is smaller than any other year. Each year, the gap between online streaming and live TV is getting smaller. Another comparison is between the amount of awards won by the two different mediums. In recent years, online shows have come into contention, with Netflix and Amazon Prime both being considered for awards as from the 2016 UK National Television Awards show. The first show to examine is the 2018 Emmys. Out of the 7 winners for television shows, 6 were won by live TV, while only 1 was made by an online streaming corporation, Amazon Prime's The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel. In the 2019 Golden Globes, out of the 3 awards for television shows, 2 of them went to live TV shows, both by the American channel FX, while the third was won by Netflix's The Kominsky Method. The third and final award show I am examining is the UK's National Television Awards of 2019. Unlike most award shows, the NTA's winners are decided by a public vote after the nominations have been announced. Out of the 13 awards presented for a specific show or performance in a show, all 13 of the awards went to live television shows. At first look, this would suggest that, at least in the UK, television shows from live broadcasting channels are more popular. Furthermore, in all 13 categories, only one online streaming show, Netflix's Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father, made the final shortlist. This really suggests that in terms of quality and public interest and enjoyment of shows in the UK, live TV is still way ahead of online streaming services. However, the NTAs are just for Britain, where the majority of Netflix doesn't originate because it is originally an American site. So, it's going to do better in America. That is to be expected. Now, we go to the future! Live TV has a very consistent rate of viewership for its top programming, which suggests that this trend will carry on for the coming years. However, Netflix's increase in subscribers becomes much quicker in its increase every year, meaning that every year more and more people are accepting online streaming as an accepted method of viewing programming. If this trend continues, which is very likely, then this might start to remove audiences from live TV. Furthermore, to begin with, Netflix's main source of programming was pre-existing shows and films that can now be accessed via Netflix. However, in more recent times, Netflix has started having a hand in programs such as the Marvel Netflix shows such as Daredevil and Jessica Jones, but are also creating shows completely independently such as House of Cards, and even cancelling shows made in partnership such as every single Marvel Netflix show. This shows that Netflix is becoming more independent and can stand on its own 2 feet, as their independent shows are becoming some of their most popular. However, Netflix hasn't offered any signs of introducing live shows, such as a sporting event or something like Strictly. However, Amazon Prime does. As of now, it has the rights to the entire ATP tennis tour live. The Director General of the BBC, Tony Hall, said this:
iPlayer has lost its advantage against rivals such as Netflix. The BBC must plan for a future where a large proportion of its audience never watch its traditional television channels. It might be 5 years away, it might be 10, but soon our digital services will be the only ones some of our audiences use.
This suggests that the BBC realised they need to adapt to compete. Finally, online streaming services are growing all the time. Many major companies appear to be trying to compete with the success of Netflix. A very recent example is Disney's new streaming service, Disney+, which has got lots of original new content, such as new TV shows for Marvel and Star Wars, as well as being a place to watch many existing Disney products already. Disney Plus came out in 2019 and is expected to hit the UK in a few months, so I will be able to examine how well that does once I get it. Time for the conclusion! In conclusion, when answering the question, is live TV threatened by the rise of online streaming, the answer is yes. The very existence of an alternative to live TV instantly demands threat and questioning and debate over whether this is the future of it, and if live TV still has a purpose in the broadcasting industry. But event television, this is right now the BBC's unique selling point, and it shows, as for a while now the majority of top viewed programmes on the BBC are sporting events or live finals such as Strictly Come Dancing. Furthermore, Netflix don't provide live broadcasting, so that's something that the BBC and other live broadcasters can say, look, we're still relevant, look at this. And finally, the BBC are showing that they can adapt to stay in contention. They're becoming more online friendly, with many iPlayer exclusive shows, and iPlayer becoming more like a streaming service. Rather than having just catch up for the last 7 days, iPlayer has developed to include box sets, and instead of only being catch up for a week, it's now catch up for a year, at the very least. However, there will always be the risk of the BBC or Channel 4 being considered unnecessary, irrelevant, and being snubbed by Netflix, which does seem to be the most popular source of programming by the general public. And eventually, they could be shut down to make way for only online broadcasters. This idea is further put forward by the CEO of Netflix, Reed Hastings.
It's about bringing joy and happiness and entertainment, leading some sort of revolution when it comes to distributing content. It's much more revolutionary than revolutionary. Revolutionary would be more like YouTube with its open platform. And there's good and bad in revolutions. I would say we've much improved television. People still watch 45-minute shows on television, but now on Netflix. That's not a huge revolution, but that's a big improvement, and that's important.
Meaning that online content is the next evolutionary step for TV. The idea of them being the same is supported by Netflix users being able to stream shows such as Merlin, Doctor Who, and The Great British Bake Off on Netflix, which were originally broadcast all on BBC One. So in conclusion, yes, of course live TV is threatened by the rise of online streaming, because the very existence of it causes threat. However, as I've mentioned, there is still plenty of unique selling point for live TV, and it definitely has quite a bit of a way to go before it is considered unnecessary. Thank you all for watching. This project was made as an A-level project, and I'm very proud of it. And I want to thank everyone who helped make it. So my friends who gave advice for it, my teacher who gave some very useful advice on it, and the people I was able to use for research. So thank you for watching. And I want you guys to tell me your thoughts on this debate in the comments below, because I've only scratched the surface of it. There's still so much more to talk about. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this documentary. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Dr. Dan Alsop YouTube channel.